Victor is not a greedy boy. He's not a greedy guy. He only wants to get what he deserves, and that's not a problem.
He wasn't asking for £500,000 a week.
No, he wasn't asking for all this bullshit for me. I know what happened. I was there I was in the midst of everything. So I can tell everybody that is definitely not true. Victor is not a greedy boy. He just wants to play football and get what he deserves. And that's not a problem.
No.
A player knowing what he's worth and asking and demanding to be paid what he's worth. That's not a problem. And also to be able to come to a compromise between him and Chelsea to make sure that the deal get done.
Yeah.
We were very, very close. I put it that way. We were very, very close. We were. I was aware of getting this deal done, but it was just, slight issues, slight little problems that we just couldn't get over the line. And of course, the medical couldn't be done as well. Even if we get the deal done, it was too late.
So you've probably already seen the full episode of John Obi Mikel's podcast talking about Osimhen. I just showed you a clip there. Now, to me, this seems like we're probably going to get Osimhen in 2025, right? Whether it's in January or the summer, remains to be seen. Of course, we have to take into consideration that he's now also a Galatasaray player. Yes, according to some reports, there might be something in his contract that could let him leave in January. Now, then the question becomes, does the player actually want to leave in January? Because let's say he's on a roll, they're first place, he's scoring a lot of goals. What's the incentive for him to leave in January? Not much, right? Not much. So probably summer 2025. Of course, hopefully by summer 2025, we have reached top 4 and we qualified for Champions League, which would make our life much easier next year for all the transfers in and out. Okay, my problem with all this story is this. The fact that he says, there were just a couple of points that were missing, we were very, very close to a deal. I mean, what did you do for 2 months? Right? The transfer window has been open for God knows how long. Yet, the reason we did not actually make a deal is because, it was last minute. We couldn't even do the medical, even if we agreed on the last couple of points. Yeah, no kidding. That's why the transfer window doesn't start August 31st. The transfer window starts way, way earlier. So what has happened all that time? Well, all that time they probably lost time for nothing. Do we want him? Do we not want him? Does Osimhen want to come? Does he want to reduce his salary? Does he want to reduce his demands? Yes, no. Who knows at this point, right? Mikel probably wants him at Chelsea. I don't know if he will become his agent in the future or not. Probably not, but who knows? And then the fact that he says also that, he did not ask for a crazy amount, like the 500K. Okay, that makes sense, right? 500K, that would be quite laughable. But he asks for, what he's worth. Now, again, we talked about that, right? Last year, a year ago, he had a contract of less than 100K. The new contract was only given to him in December when he signed a new contract. By the way, he signed another new contract right now, which would make him leave, which reduced the release clause for 2025. But this whole thing still doesn't sit right with me. Don't get me wrong. He'll be very welcome if he comes at Chelsea and scores plenty of goals. But this whole story of, we were very close, couple of things here, couple of things there. He compromised a little bit, the club compromised a little bit. By the way, no bad blood between the two, so Chelsea still want Osimhen. Osimhen still want Chelsea, according to him, according to Fabrizio as well. But this whole thing of, last minute was too late. Sorry, I just have to laugh at that argument because, let's be honest, it just doesn't make much sense, right? You had 2 months the time to figure this out. 2 months, actually way more than that, right? Because we knew we wanted Osimhen for quite a long time. So why not have these conversations already way in advance? So the transfer window opens and you sign, and that's about it. Completely ridiculous. But okay, sometimes it's out of our hands, out of his hands, out of the club hands. Okay, fine. It is what it is. Let's hope he has a good season in Galatasaray, doesn't get injured much, continues good momentum if he will join us in 2025. Now, switching to the other topic is, of course, the whole circus show that happens at Chelsea today, right? Maresca, Pochettino, Clearlake, Egbahli, Todd Boehly, this whole thing, right? It's completely crazy. I mean, can we have 1 week, 1 day where we are not in the headlines because of some non-football related stuff? It's nuts. I did a previous video talking about that as well, but apparently nobody's interested in that, so didn't get that many views, so I will just repeat some of the points. I'll also cut it into another video so it doesn't confuse that too many people. But yeah, this whole thing also with the stadium. Of course, we Chelsea, as a Chelsea Football Club, it is not normal that the capacity is 41,000 or something like that? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. By the way, for those that don't understand, the more people that can come in the stadium, the more revenue that we can generate, the better players we can attract, we can pay them more eventually, and the club doesn't need to raise prices, right? Because if we spend more and we don't qualify for the Champions League, for example, then yes, eventually the money will have to come from somewhere. And that somewhere is unfortunately tickets to go to the Stamford Bridge. So yeah, I just don't understand this whole thing. Oh, but now with the new ownership, they haven't really shown much, so we don't agree to move from Stamford Bridge. How does that make any sense? Did they not spend over a billion already? Okay, we can agree that the transfers were not great, at least not all of them were great. But to say that they're not invested in the club is ridiculous, is lies, right? They've invested a lot of money. Yes, way too many players came in, too many players went out, no respect to the Cobham graduates, okay, pure profit players, it is what it is, plenty of new managers, they sacked, parted ways with Pochettino, apparently Boehly wanted to keep Pochettino, Egbahli not, the two sporting directors came in with an 18-page report as to why Pochettino underperformed and why we should be looking for a new coach, which is quite strange, no? Weren't they the same dudes that went and got us Pochettino? Huh. Interesting how that works, right? It's ridiculous. And then you'll say, oh, but Boehly, he wanted to keep Pochettino. Doesn't make much sense. No, it does make sense. If you've watched Chelsea in the last 6 months, yes, we could have won an extra 2-3 games or so and would have made Champions League. Didn't happen. But overall, in the last 6 months, last season, I can't even believe we're still talking about Pochettino here, but okay. We did perform quite well. We were one of the best performing teams, other than Man City and Arsenal, maybe even Liverpool. So that's top 4 in 2024. By the way, I've seen the stat. Apparently, at home in 2024, we're the best team when it comes to goals scored at home in all competitions. So, okay, bravo to us, right? But I can understand Boehly's standpoint that he wants to continue to be patient, to have some stability. So to continue with Pochettino made sense. The other side, the side that is quite trigger happy, right? Apparently that's Clearlake and Egbahli. Always wanted to change players in, players out, players in, players out, firing this CEO, changing CEOs. You cannot bring stability to a club like this. We have patience, the fans, right? I think we're very, very patient with everything that's been happening. I think we can say we're very patient. Although we're very vocal, overall we're quite patient because we're still letting them work, letting them figure it out. But the Clearlake Egbahli side, yes, I've chosen the side of Boehly if you haven't noticed yet. They're the side of, oh, we need things ASAP, this. They don't know much about sports. Boehly already knows a little bit about sports, maybe a lot about sports thanks to the Dodgers. The other side, not much. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The stadium development has been something that we should have done a long, long time ago. Of course, the pitch owners are not that very, how do you say, welcome to the idea of moving away from Stamford Bridge, I would say. And maybe don't move away from Stamford Bridge. But then again, rebuild, expand Stamford Bridge? How long will that take? Bureaucracy in London. Lots of things out of our hands, let's be honest. I mean, being in London is great for the club. But when it comes to bureaucracy, I think it's horrible. You have to find places, you have to building permits, parking, stuff like that, development, lots of rules and bureaucracy. Politics is a pure BS and money laundering scheme, let's be honest here. But yeah, the whole situation with the ownership to me is a joke. I hope Boehly finds enough friends that are aligned with him with enough money to buy the other side out, because otherwise I really don't see how this will work out for the long run. Because if we look at what happened with Roman Abramovich came in, of course he's the one owner, puts in a lot of money, but he put in the players of the game, but the right people in the right places. He does this, she does that, the coach does this, and that's about it. No million technical directors, sporting directors, triple ownerships. He has to say something, the other one has to say something, board of directors, chairman of the board, he says that, he said no. It was pretty clear what was going on. That's why we were successful for so long. Why is Real Madrid so successful for so long, right? One, it's Real Madrid. And two, it's the president, the coach, and probably the scouts, right? And that's about it. There's no sporting directors, technical directors, CEOs of the chairmen of the board of the cafeteria that provides coffee tomorrow, maybe. No, pure football people. That's about it. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. I expect Osimhen to be a player in 2025. Hopefully it won't be another complete circus show. I think if we were very close to a deal, then either it's January or the first week or two of the summer transfer window in 2025. Because if it takes another month or so, I'll go completely nuts. Anyways, that's what I've got for you right now. Like, subscribe, do all of that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.